Number 10. Steiner Screwdriver. Having a match with Scott Steiner is dangerous enough. Imagine if you're a jobber thinking to yourself, well, that was a good run before going out to the ring to face a genetic freak. While he was athletic as hell in his early career, doing stuff like the 450 splash, frankesntiner here and there, and whatever this is. However, having great movesets for his size comes with the consequences of hurting your opponents. You see, when it's all said and done, the Steiner Screwdriver is a very cool and creative finishing move. In fact, I put it highly on my top 20 finishers list. But that doesn't take away the fact that it's not healthy for your neck, it's highly risky and looks brutal. A botch could lead to a disaster. And listen, if it was done by anybody else, it would have been a different story. Number 9. Doomsday Device. The Doomsday Device is a super cool finishing move, and there's a weird sense of satisfaction about it, if that makes sense. And on top of that, it makes the Road Warriors look badass. But damn it, it sucks to be the one taking that bump. There is no guarantee for your own safety, you just have to take it and pray to God that when you land on the mat, your neck still functions properly. It's really a rough experience to go through. And I know that Harry Godwin's has his neck broken by the move and it pretty much ended his career in '97, which is really awful. Number 8. Muscle Buster, or the Kanuki Buster. You know the story. Tyson Kidd's career ended because of the Muscle Buster, and due to that reason that the move was banned. Obviously it's an accident and the Muscle Buster hasn't injured someone before, but again, the fact that an injury led to the end of someone's career, it kinda put the move in the dangerous category. I mean, it has always looked brutal and sick, and honestly I've always been impressed that he never hurt someone before, and he have done it a lot. Now, the Muscle Buster, we can all agree that it looks rough, but it's safer compared to the Kanuki Buster, which is exactly how it was done in the anime. And I've come across a lot of wrestlers doing it, and I'm here wondering what's wrong with these people. This had to hurt, and hurt real bad. You don't see it too much anymore, probably because it sucks a lot to take. Number 7. The Styles Clash. Theoretically, the Styles Clash is not difficult to pull out and perform, and it doesn't look even slightly dangerous. Matter of fact, it looks very simple. So what goes wrong? How does it become dangerous then? There is one simple rule you should know when you take the Styles Clash. Do not tuck your head, it's really easy to keep in mind. But for whatever reasons, some don't get the memo, and unfortunately they ended up injuring their neck. You can't blame AJ, he's done it a lot and he even saved people's life when they tried to tuck their head. He can't be held responsible because if you don't want to get hurt, literally don't do nothing, he will take care of you. It's just too bad that injuries had happened. I think Yoshitatsu got it worse. He was out for a year and a half to fully recover. Number 6. The Package Follow-Away Powerbomb. So there is actually two versions of this move. There is the Kevin Steen version, he calls it the Steinizer, where he launches his opponent's neck into the turnbuckle, and as you can see, it's not very lovely. And then there is the Phoenixplex, the mother of all package follow-away powerbombs, and it's invented by Kurabushi. Instead of the turnbuckle, you are basically dropping your opponent's head and neck on the mat as hard as possible in a bridge position, and make it look cool in the process. Either ways, your neck is fucked. But I believe that there's less injury possibilities with the Steinizer than with the Phoenixplex, because quite frankly, anything is better than having your neck hits the mat. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with this move. It's a lot of work done by the ones who's performing it to protect the one who's taking it from very serious injuries. One small mistake and it's gonna be a disaster. Most infamous incident that comes to mind is Hiromu Takahashi's injury from his G1 special match in 2018 against Dragon Lee. As I was saying, it's a very particular move. Lee botched the Phoenixplex. He let him go instead of cradling him, dropping him right on top of his head, and Takahashi broke his neck and he was out for almost 2 years. It's a move that I'm strongly against using. It doesn't worth the risk despite how cool it looks. It has serious injuries written all over it. Number 5. The Vertebr. Shane Helms used the Vertebr only once in WWE and the move was immediately banned, even though he didn't injure his opponent, but I think it was for the better to avoid the inevitable. Because while it's true that it looks dope and I happen to use it as a finish on a video game, it has all kinds of red flags. His version actually looks safer in comparison with the Kadumi Valentine by Megumi Kodo. My god, it's a miracle that she hasn't murdered somebody. But Homicide's Grego Killer is on another level. I can't look at it and not cringe. It always makes me wonder why. Why don't you just settle with a DDT or something simpler for a finisher? Did you really have to go there? Are we really messing with people's life like it's nothing, huh? Number 4. Tiger Driver 91 and Gonzo Bomb. They look the same and I feel like I'm ripping you off if I put them each on separate entry. Literally both were discovered by an accident and they're equally painful. This is the WWE version of the Tiger Driver. As you can see here, it looks sick and clean and it doesn't make you cringe. And this is the Tiger Driver when it takes place in Japan, because if there's one thing that Japanese wrestlers hate nothing more, it's the neck for sure. Take the Gonzo Bomb for another example. Rick Rude did it in WWF, and if you pay closer attention, then you can notice he doesn't intend to give the Ultimate Warrior Kikashin, and he only did it once. Now this is the Toshiaki Kuwata's version. This is what an attempted murder in wrestling looks like. You can give me $1 million and I still wouldn't take this move. Number 3. Burning Hammer. There's a reason why Kenta Kobashi only used the Burning Hammer 7 times throughout his entire career. It was his super finisher, his last resort to win the match, and it always got the job done. When he's facing a tough opponent that won't stay down, he'll have to break his fucking neck. Simple as that. Dear God, the way he dropped them always makes me cringe. At what point would you have to stop and ask yourself, is it really worth it? If it was me, I'd rather tap out before my head touched the mat and potentially break my neck or worse die. And this is no joke. Number 2. Shaker Heights Spike. This is one of the dumbest moves I ever seen. Scratch that. This is the dumbest move I've ever seen. Because man, if their purpose is to legit kill their opponents, then that makes sense because holy shit, this looks terribly dangerous. I thought the purpose of pro wrestling is to make a safe move looks legit. There is no way that this was a safe finisher to take. I know for sure that wrestlers who were part of that roster respectfully declined taking that bump. No one was crazy enough to risk his life for a stupid match against the Beverly Brothers. It was those poor jobbers that had to be sacrificed to put this tag team over. But at what cost? At least the Doomsday Device looked cool and unique. This, on the other hand, ain't one of those two things. I'm shocked they've done it more than once and got away with it. Wrestling was very rough back then, man. And number 1, the Pile Driver. The Pile Driver is a very notorious move in wrestling. It has developed over the years a bad reputation for being very dangerous. It's a move that when it's done wrong, it can lead to a very terrible injury, some of which could be career ending. You're probably familiar with the Pile Driver botch by Owen Hart that shortened Steve Austin's career. But 5 years prior to this accident, Austin broke the neck of Masahiro Kono in Japan, performing the exact same maneuver. It's a wrestling karma, you could say. In 2013, during a match in Ring of Honor against Mike Bennett, BJ Whitmer received a pile driver on the apron that, judging alone by the look of it, you can tell it didn't go as planned. The match was stopped immediately and he was hospitalized. It was a very serious injury, and while he managed to return to the ring, it didn't take him a while to hang his boots. I think the worst case scenario with a botched pile driver is death. And unfortunately, there's a wrestler in the Memphis territory who killed someone by accident with a pile driver. So with all this information in mind, it makes absolute sense that WWE banned the move in 2000, and only Undertaker and Kane were allowed to use it. In fact, the maneuver is prohibited in most wrestling promotions and even in some countries, such as Mexico. There are also some states and territories in the USA where it's banned, because it's not fucking worth it. Simple as that. So yeah, that's it. We reached the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Make sure to like, subscribe and comment as usual. I'm MH and I'll see you soon. Tschüss.